So, before we get into Bafana Bafana, the games, we're going to get into Bafana Bafana and some of the issues that we are having at the team because people have not been paid and there's a lot. So let me read some of this and then we can speak about it. So, thank you to Idiski Times for the article. It says players are said to not be happy as they had not been paid for last month's friendly matches against Namibia and DR Congo. SAFA has no money and players were furious. Hence, they gave a subdued performance, said the insider. We beat Moroka without getting our match bonus. We beat DR Congo without getting match bonuses. The draw against Eswatini was an off day, nothing more, says the player. This is now a player who's trying to defend, right? Even in September, Bruce told reporters that there were financial issues at the association after Bafana Bafana qualified for the African Cup of Nations in March. Money issues at SAFA are starting to appear yet again after they also had a disagreement with Banyana regarding bonuses until the goodwill of Motsepe Foundation came in at the last minute to rescue the situation, to pledge 6 million rand after the players refused to play their friendly versus Botswana before the World Cup. So here we are, sitting here again, where another national team has qualified for a tournament you haven't been in for a while, but it seems as though they haven't been getting paid any of the monies promised to them up until this point. It was said a couple of weeks ago that Hugo Bruce was playing the middleman. He was trying to negotiate between SAFA and the players because they hadn't been paid, and the players were threatening to strike. Actually, there was rumors that this game that was played versus Eswatini was not meant to happen. The players were on strike. They didn't want to go. I don't know what was said, but the players came out and played. You saw a lot of them dropping out before. I'm not going to say that's linked, but here we are one more time with SAFA saying that they don't have money, SAFA saying that they broke, and SAFA not being able to do the barest of minimums for their national teams. I think part of this stuff is not a privilege. They like to say it's a privilege. You pay these players, you know, yes, they represent their countries. Yes, you might argue that they shouldn't be paid for these things, but if you've made them a promise to pay them, you can't now jiggy say that the money's gone missing, you know, or we don't have money. And it also brings about questions about SAFA itself, because now Banyana's going. Banyana gets promised monies, you want to take the monies. Banyana don't get their share, allegedly, of their WEFCON winnings, right? Now it's Bafana Bafana, and I told you guys, Guti, it's going to play out like clockwork again. It's just that now Bafana Bafana dealing with the thing, luckily a lot earlier than Banyana did. But SAFA again is a problem. Let me bring in the second panel so that we can have a discussion about this. Sinjay, how are you doing, my brother?
Is it after this one you're bringing Hugo performance?
Yeah, I'm bringing Hugo Bruce, but you can jump back on.
I want to be the panel when we are speaking about Hugo Bruce. I don't have time for these broke people. Bring me back.
Tell me, while you are here, tell me, here we are again. And by the way, Sinjay's joining us with his proper account today. Just every time I'm gonna mention it. Again, we're sitting with this payment situation.
Listen, the SAFA is a government institution. There's no such thing that they don't have money. There's no such thing at all that they don't have money. Hence is why I'm saying I want to speak about the performance of Hugo Boss. I'm saying I'm gonna come back. This mafia, this one, I don't want to speak about him because he's just towing money left, right, and center. There's no such thing as SAFA does not have money. Parliament gives budget for all sporting codes so that they submit to the parliament, they submit to the sports department that this is how much money they're going to need. They know that there's going to be an AFCON and they want a team to compete. There's no such thing as you are playing for Mahala for your national team. That is why I said, Prajoch, in the first place, I said South Africa should have the same contract for every single sporting code that represents the national. There's whether you are playing rugby, whether you're playing cricket, whether you're playing volleyball, if you are representing your country, it should be a standard contract. But the Springboks get $1 million a player each minimum to go to the World Cup, and another 2 or 3 million if they win it. That should be a standard contract, whether you are a male, whether you are a female, whether you are a donkey, whether you are a cow. If you are representing your country, that is the contract that you sign, and that is what you want throughout all sporting. We should not be having a situation whether there's no money, there's no what, there's no that. There's no such thing as this is a representative of the country. The president of the country is going to send the minister of sport to go and investigate again. But the money that we gave it to you, where did it happen? No wonder this Bafana coach can't even send emails. They don't have the money to open up an account. I want to come.
Wait, CJ. Very quickly, should players feel entitled to these monies?
Of course. Of course they should.
Yeah.
Of course they should. Of course they should. They are not playing mahala. You can go to any country. You can go to any country. If you can go to any country, you can go. You don't play for your national team mahala. You are given. It's a contract. You sign a contract to represent your national. You play. You have to pay, and it must be worthwhile. It must be worth your while to play for your national team. It can't be doing it for free. And it's one thing that should not even be a conversation that players, they're not doing the country a favor for playing it. No, they're representing us. They are representing us, and we must make sure that the people that are representing us as a country, they represent us in style. We don't want people that are moving around there representing us and financially well taken care of. People must stop nonsense. Tony Jordaan, time is up. That is why I say Lucas Khanye should be the president of SAFA, not this one. I'm coming back for the.
I'll let you go. I forced you. I'll let you go. Let me bring in Pitso. How are you doing, my brother?
Yeah, Patrice, how are you?
No, I'm okay, Pitso. Tell me. You know, SAFA tells us they don't have money to pay players, apparently, allegedly. SAFA tells us they don't have money to book stadiums around the country when Bafana Bafana goes. How do you feel about this thing with man? SAFA doesn't have money, number one, and then number two, these players, every time a national team has to do something, there's a fight. Banyana, Bafana, everyone. How do you feel about those two things?
Tsepo, this is so painful. I don't want to lie. It's so painful to be alive right now in South Africa, where you see the very same sport that is being followed by the majority of the citizens in the country.
Yes.
Being politicized, being run by politics. I think everything is visible, man, that Jordaan is pushing his own, agendas everywhere, be it on Bafana, be it on Banyana, and also be it on the referees. Why can't South Africa have professional referees? Why can it not happen? Why can they not budget for that? It's because there's a narrative they are pushing. You understand? So this guy is not serious about South African soccer, and I think we have been too quiet as the nation, especially those who are football lovers. I think even the body language is saying everything. We are no longer going to stadiums when Bafana plays. If somebody does not remind you, you don't even know that it's playing. So
now you have to download SABC Plus. You have to do so much work.
You understand? It is so much painful now. It is so much painful that our very own Bafana that after the apartheid they brought joy into our lives. And Bafana Bafana was the first sporting team to bring South Africa together. together after apartheid. And but now today, when you talk about Bafana Bafana, I mean, even the white people are even laughing at us now. You know, now we are even forced. Tsepa, I'm even forced to watch rugby now and follow rugby because I mean, that is the only thing that gives me joy right now, and I must really acknowledge that. But it is very painful. It is very painful.
Why do we see these things happen in SAFA, whereas, like you're mentioning about Springboks, why don't we see this happening at Saru? I don't think, in my memory, I've seen rugby players not getting paid or complaining about pay. It doesn't seem to happen there. What's the difference here?
It's the difference is the black mentality. The difference is politics. I mean, you know, I don't think at Saru you'd come across politics. Everything is run professionally. The unfortunate thing, whether we like it or not, about us black people and the whites is that whites are very professional when it comes to everything they do. So with us, you think with your stomach before you think with your mind. That is very unfortunate for a black person, you know. So now we are reaping. I mean, we are now reaping what we have sown. You understand? So I think it's high time. You know, I think it's high time that we as the soccer loving nation in this country, we rally. We rally together and, you know, vouch out this man, Jordaan. Ever since he took over, let's remember it. Ever since he took over, I think this is his third season now. Ever since he took over, there's nothing good we can say about South African soccer. There's nothing good we can, especially when it comes to SAFA. I'm talking about the ground level of our own soccer. There's SAB. You know, that's where we even see the visibility of corruption. You understand? Ever since this man took over. So now this pains me, my brother. You know, when we come to this topic, I get so much pain. I was watching Bafana. The stadiums are literally, the supporters are ball boys there. You know, it's painful for South African football, and we cannot overlook it and act as if everything is normal. We need to act as soccer loving fans. Otherwise, you know, we will end up, you know, even supporting our Sundowns as if they are our national teams when they go and represent us in Africa. It's not something that we want, honestly.
Hey, no, thank you, bro. Pitso. Hey, this chat. Let me bring it, Kolane. Kolane, how are you?
I'm right, my brother. How are you?
I'm okay, my brother. Outside of this, again, going into a tournament, players haven't been paid. SAFA is allegedly out of money. There's strikes threatened and all of that stuff. It happened with Banyana. It's happening with Bafana right now. What do you think about this statement that SAFA saying, or allegedly, that SAFA doesn't have any money? And then number two, why does this keep happening, man? Like, how can we have our national teams not being able to get the bare minimums?
It's so stressful, because every year there is a budget speech fit. And sports are always included with your budget speech. So it's like it beats me. And whenever we're gonna like go to the major tournament in South Africa, there's always gonna be issues. Yeah, but we had the same issue with Banyana. And most of like the body language during our previous games against Eswatini. It showed something was wrong there. And the other point, allegedly, but they don't have money to book stadiums. I mean, stadiums were built in the World Cup 2010. I mean, it beats me with how can you pay for your own facilities? Firstly, I want to let that Jordaan, but it's been having the same talk about Jordaan. If you perform as a manager, even on corporate world, it's always the manager first, then the crowd person second abazoxoshwa. So uma uqasha umuntu onga-provide ongalethi ushintsho, why keep him first?
Mara iyaphi le mali Xolani ngoba mina I-understand asiyiboni le mali anywhere. Khona ama-funds, somebody here mentioned the carte blanche episode. There's so much stuff, you know, that is happening. Iyaphi le mali ngoba I don't see these things happening go rugby, go cricket.
Bruh, first, I think the first, those are the same question because if imali ngekho, you have to like show us, okay, there was money provided by government and show us what's EAP, and even in the Banyana, I think if I'm not mistaken, Motsepe had to donate money for them.
Motsepe Foundation, yeah.
So there's always an issue, it's very sad to see people like I'm a politician.
Mina guys, I don't know.
They're killing Williams, the nation builder. Can you imagine, bro? How is he feeling hearing Itore Fananalese face?
Nation builder rugby, I'm a Springboks. No, guys. Thank you guys for jumping in. Yeah, guys, it's sad, man. I think it's part of the things where I feel sometimes our associations and our leaderships and all those guys, they get away with just telling us kutaknamal. You know, when you used to go to your parents and ask them for something and they just tell you, "Ay guys, yes, asnamali." Meanwhile, it feels like that because I think they've realized that they don't need to justify anything. And I think the sad part is that this is not extra. It's not something that the national teams are asking for. They're not asking for 5-star hotels and all of that type of stuff. That's nothing towards what they're asking for. It's the bare minimums. Here's your match bonus, per match bonus. And these problems have been around for how long now? Think about the 2010 World Cup. They said in 2010 World Cup, they were fighting at the hotel behind closed doors. Abote Komdis and those guys were fighting. Then you see it all the way up to Banyana just earlier this year. Now, going into this AFCON, again, they just tell us Agnamali and they move on with the situation. I think that's a very big issue that needs to be addressed, and we need to, again, I don't know how, but hold them accountable because some of the things don't make sense, man. Sometimes you watch people and you're like, you guys just tell us anything and we must just accept it. But here we are.